tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' can is swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies love you, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' can is swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies love you, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Poppin' can is swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare.
All right, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Saturday morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time Queen Goddess goes live. Now, with that all being said, please forgive my tardiness. Okay, please forgive my tardiness, beloveds. All right, so hello, Claudette, Juju B is in virtual building, We the People, 504 NOLA, Buckhorse DC, G from the land, Soul Sister Claudette. All right, let's get ready to get into it. Millicent, okay, Coco Marshmallows, Deronda, 504 NOLA. All right, Marvin, I see you, beloved. Adwell L. Lawyer is here, okay. With that all being said, Soul Sister, did I say you? Chili Willie from Philly. All right, so let's get into it. Shout out to all my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, Dangerous, Mr. Elevation. I see you too. And a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. Okay, and happy Saturday. Okay, so before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. And also, my dear sister Lisa Cabrera is going live today. You all be sure to catch her broadcast, all right? She's reported on very good things as well. All right, so that I've been said, let's get into it.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so with that all been said, don't forget to purchase, you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. You can also, and just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, and don't forget that she sells beard oil. Now, with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Let's get ready to get into it because this just in. Iran has fired at two ships coming towards the Strait of Hormuz. Now, you know they have reclosed it. Now, it was just open on yesterday, but thanks to Trump, it is now closed again. Okay, so let's go to the footage. Please hit that like button. Thank you in advance.
Now in the Strait.
Yeah, interesting as well, listening to the president saying that he's not going to be held hostage by Iran. He did say that he thought things were going along well. I think everyone thought about 5 or 6 hours ago. Since then, the Iranians have appeared to attack two shipping vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. One tanker just off the coast of Oman, so very close to the Strait of Hormuz, said two IRGC Iranian gunboats came at it and didn't talk to it on the radio, literally opened fire on this tanker. The crew and the vessel are reported safe. And then about 2 hours later, in the same area, an unidentified projectile hit a container ship. Some of the containers damaged. No fire, no environmental damage. But this comes just hours after the Iranians said they were reversing their opening of the Strait of Hormuz. We've heard a lot of pushback from hardliners in Iran saying that that move essentially was too soft and that they are not responding well to the fact that President Trump said that the U.S. blockade would remain in place. Iran accuses the United States here of not following through on its obligations on the ceasefire. So we've gone from a point of early this morning where things looked like they were moving along well, talks getting close, people talking about potential of talks.
Let me tell you all something. Let me tell you all something, beloveds, and I want you all to pay close attention because I'm going to tell you the real reason, and this is my opinion, but I absolutely believe I'm right. Let me tell you why Trump is so concerned about the Strait of Hormuz. You see, previously Trump said that the United States only gets about 2% of their oil from the Strait of Hormuz, and that we really didn't have to be worried about it. Isn't that what we all heard him say? Once in the chat, if you heard him say that, or you remember me reporting on it, once in the chat. Once in the chat, if you all remember me telling you that, or if you saw it yourself. Oh, Desmond. Desmond said, Queen didn't show me no love. I'm appalled. Desmond, I didn't see you, beloved. Hey, Desmond. Hey, that crazy bitch Aries. I didn't see you either. I did shout out my moderators, which literally includes you. So sit down somewhere. Okay, great. Newman said that's why he went to steal Venezuela's oil. Yes, but with the Strait of Hormuz, it's a much bigger issue. So let me explain it to you. Here's the thing. Now, first off, they're mad because Iran is making money off of it because remember, they previously said they were charging $2 million in yuan, right? Not in US currency, which is the petrodollar. So with that all being said, I told you all weeks ago that China can become the global superpower over the United States. Okay, they're already headed there. And I also told you that if they can effectively crash the petrodollar, you know, with Iran charging, having people to pay in their money, well, then that's it for the U.S. It's a wrap. And so that's one of the reasons. Well, that's the main reason. But let me just tell you this. And here's the thing. Them blocking the Strait of Hormuz, them doing all of this stuff, the U.S. that is, this is not really so much based as an attack on Iran. This is an attack on China. And I want you all to pay attention. So let me explain to you why that is the case. You see, China imports the largest share of oil passing through the Strait of Hormuz, accounting for approximately 37.7% of the total flow, followed by India and South Korea. Now, nearly 80% of the oil exported through this crucial choke point, which carries roughly 20 to 30% of the world's total seaborne petroleum, is destined for Asian markets, you see. Do you see where this is going? So I want you all to pay attention because 37.7 to China, 14.7 to India, 12.0 to South Korea, and 10.9 to Japan. So while China imports the highest volume, countries like Japan and South Korea have higher dependency rates, with over 70% of their oil imports passing through the route. Okay, with that all being said, according to a 6, 3, and 7, and these are major exporters, Saudi Arabia is the largest exporter passing through the strait, followed by Iraq and the UAE. So with that all being said, they really are trying their darndest, if you ask me, to hinder China. Okay? They're like, China's not going to be just going through here willy-nilly getting all this oil, and then the Iranians are charging people in their currency. Do y'all see how this could really cripple the U.S. economy? Okay, and the dollar is really already, going down in so much value because nothing backs it except for oil, you see. Okay, the only thing that we have is the oil. And at the end of the day, then what? Okay, so that's really what this whole thing is all about. But now let's continue.
In Islamabad in a couple of days, Iranians upping the ante, and I think perhaps that gets to what the president said. He's not going to be held hostage, and he said he's expecting an update on the situation later today.
Nick, how much of this has to do with the situation in Lebanon with Israel, or are these events concentrated based on concerns over the Strait itself?
Absolutely. The Iranians opening the Strait of Hormuz was based on the fact that they saw President Trump and the Pakistani negotiators, the field marshal here, Munir, get this ceasefire in Lebanon. That was a big part of moving things forward. But the Iranians, they then did a quid pro quo and opened the Strait of Hormuz because, of course, they wanted that ceasefire in Lebanon. They thought there'd be a positive response from the White House. That's what they're saying. What we've witnessed is a negative response in Iran to President Trump's response. We've even seen
Now, please pay attention to how he tried to flip that. He said what we're witnessing is a negative response from Iran to President Trump's response. But President Trump's response was negative first. Okay, let's not just skirt past that. Okay, remember, this is CNN. We're going to go to the real news next.
Internal tensions in Iran between the hardliners and the moderates. The moderates are the ones who were in the negotiations. The hardliners had been saying that, had been threatening to reclose the Strait of Hormuz. They've gone ahead and done that. Their gunboats appear to be attacking maritime vessels, tankers, container ships close to the Strait of Hormuz. So the two things are interlinked, but we're now back to the bigger issue here of U.S.-Iran tensions. Do we the talks, or does this latest escalation at the Strait of Hormuz, does it scuttle all of that?
The president.
I find it all so interesting, don't you? Let's move on to the next clip. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Saudi prince panicking. Let's get into it.
Reports suggest Mohammed bin Salman urged Trump to act decisively as fears of regional escalation intensified. A reported call from MBS appeared to push Trump toward a Lebanon ceasefire, potentially putting pressure on Israel. Sources indicate MBS quietly shaped diplomacy, linking Lebanon ceasefire efforts to broader Iran and Hormuz negotiations. Saudi Arabia reportedly pushed the United States to secure a Lebanon ceasefire in order to sustain ongoing negotiations with Iran. The kingdom shifted toward active mediation, linking its efforts to the broader goal of reopening the Strait of Hormuz, according to reports. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman raised the issue directly with US President Donald Trump during a private high-level call. During the April 15 conversation, MBS strongly pressed Trump on the urgency and importance of securing a Lebanon ceasefire. Officials said the Saudi Crown Prince stressed that such a ceasefire was critical for advancing wider regional talks with Iran. Trump subsequently announced a 10-day ceasefire, a move that diplomats partly attributed to sustained Saudi diplomatic pressure. However, uncertainty persisted over whether Israel would fully comply and how firmly Washington would enforce the agreement. Meanwhile, Hezbollah criticized the Lebanese government for engaging in rare and controversial direct talks with Israel. Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan was expected to meet US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, according to reports. Officials said Saudi Arabia had circulated a negotiation paper supporting a broader regional de-escalation framework. Observers noted that Riyadh's focus included preventing any further escalation around the Strait of Hormuz. The kingdom reportedly opposed wider US military escalation while carefully balancing its strategic ties with Washington. Saudi Arabia also provided logistical cooperation to the United States during a period of heightened regional tensions. At the same time, Riyadh remained concerned about the ongoing conflict's impact on Gulf maritime security. Officials said the kingdom ultimately prioritized regional stability over confrontation in its Iran-related diplomacy. Saudi Arabia's economic leverage over Pakistan was seen as strengthening its role in mediating the talks. Pakistan, in turn, emerged as a key intermediary between Washington.
Okay, we've heard this all before. We've heard this all before. With that all being said, I want to go to what Russia says. Russia says we're in World War III. But before we get into that, let me just tell you this, because you may find this interesting. This in 8 hours ago. So, March 23rd, okay, this is about Trump's son. Barron bet $500 million on oil futures 15 minutes before Trump postponed the attacks against Iran. April the 7th, bet $950 million on oil futures a few hours before the ceasefire between the United States and Iran. April the 17th, bet $760 million on oil futures 20 minutes before Hormuz was declared open by Trump. So guess who the genius is who placed the bets on the market? I already told you. It's Barron Trump. How do you think that Barron Trump knew to do that? How do you think that he knew to do this? I want you all to pay attention because what Trump is doing is absolutely illegal, and I'm just trying to figure out why he isn't arrested at this point. I mean, he's already committed high treason, in my opinion, by the very definition of the word. Okay? By the very definition of the word, and it's all nefarious. That being said, Russia says we're in World War III, and they shock the world with Iran reveal, torches NATO for hiding behind the U.S. Let's get into it. We the people, Soul Sister said Trump has gone beyond treason, okay? I absolutely agree.
Imposing everything on everyone, punishing everyone. Some will have to abandon the habit of hiding behind the back of a father or uncle, I don't know, and not taking responsibility for their own affairs. Many habits will have to be abandoned, and probably many countries will have to give up the habit of believing those who have deceived them repeatedly. And there are also events during which representatives of great powers find themselves in one place at one time. And in most cases, they use this, if they are responsible leaders, they use it to compare notes, to talk informally, especially since this, I believe, is very important in an era when everything changes overnight. So all the events that we are experiencing today, some say, yes, this is the Third World War, just that we don't understand that world wars are now being waged in such ways.
A world based on rules is a synonym for hegemon, a synonym for a global emperor. How does this align with the expectations, as you said, of what is called a multipolar world? I think we are far from, even in the middle of the path, but at the very beginning of the path. It will be a historical era, a painful era, because we will have to give up habits. Some will have to give up the habit of imposing everything on everyone, punishing everyone. Some will have to abandon the habit of hiding behind the back of a
Now, with that all being said, I mean, this is all just a mess. They say that China rejects Trump's Iran blockade as Canadian energy exports surge. We're going to go to that, and after this report, we're going to move on from the war talk. But I do have something that I want to show you all that I think you'll find interesting. I've known about this for at least 2 weeks, and I forgot to mention it. Don't ask me how, but you need to know
Chinese
this.
Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiakun stood in front of reporters at the regular daily press briefing and used a phrase that, in the vocabulary of Chinese diplomatic language, is a graduated escalation. He called the United States Navy blockade of Iranian ports dangerous and irresponsible. He said that only a comprehensive ceasefire and an end to the war could create the conditions to ease the situation in the Strait of Hormuz. He urged all parties to abide by the ceasefire arrangements and restore normal traffic in the Strait as soon as possible. That phrase, dangerous and irresponsible, is not accidental. It is not generic diplomatic filler. In the carefully calibrated vocabulary that the Chinese Foreign Ministry uses for statements of this kind, dangerous and irresponsible sits one precise notch below the language Beijing reserves for what it considers direct threats to Chinese sovereignty. It is the same tier of language China used when criticizing Western naval activity in the South China Sea. It is the language of formal disapproval, backed by the implicit promise of response. And it was aimed directly at the Trump administration's attempt to control the flow of global energy through the most important shipping choke point on Earth.
Now, with that being said, listen, Maurice says Iran has nukes. Trump's going to get us hit. They do not have nukes, okay? And nor would they use them. I've already told you all, I don't know how many times, that it is against their Islamic beliefs. All of this that Trump is saying, that Netanyahu is saying about them having nuclear capabilities and going to blow up the world and all of this is lies and BS and foolish propaganda. That's what it is. Now, if anyone would nuke us, you all need to pay attention. It would be China. Because right now, the U.S. is messing with their sovereignty rights. And that's what they just said. And also, like I told you all, this war about the Strait of Hormuz is not really against Iran. It is against China, okay, in my opinion. So that's who we need to worry about, because China has already said that if the U.S. or Netanyahu hits Iran with a nuclear weapon, that Netanyahu's people, they will exist no more. That's what China supposedly said. Okay? So what do you think they'll do if the U.S. keeps playing these games? And let's not forget, the only person or the only people that have ever used a nuclear weapon is the United States. So for them to be acting like Iran is so nefarious, it's just ridiculous. Now, with that all being said, I think you all may find this interesting. Okay, I think you all just might find this interesting because I sure did. Let's get into it. Now, not to promote Tucker Carlson, because quite frankly, I don't like Tucker. But what I do know is that Tucker has on his network a documentary about Netanyahu. And I saw this advertisement for it some weeks ago on Twitter.
Well, you probably heard a lot about the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, Bibi, on this show and elsewhere. He's the guy who's always at the White House working to suck the United States into some war of conquest on behalf of his country. But what you may not know is that the charges against Netanyahu are real corruption charges. They tell you a lot about him. What exactly do you know about this man who's apparently in charge of the United States? Well, we are now streaming The Bibi Files. It's a documentary that pulls back the curtain on Benjamin Netanyahu. This film traces the rise of the longest-serving prime minister in the history of Israel and the corruption cases surrounding him. Hear from former staff and Israeli insiders describing what Benjamin Netanyahu is really like, and see leaked interrogation footage from his corruption investigations. Video that you were not meant to see and that they definitely don't want you to see. The Bibi Files, it offers a rare look inside Israel's power structure and the man whose decisions have once again drawn our country into another war, a big war. You can stream it now only at tuckercarlson.com.
Now, so a couple of weeks ago, I did see some of the interrogation footage, and it was quite juicy to say the least. Okay. Now, with that all being said, hold on just a second, because there's something I want to show you. And this is what is going on with ICE these days. You know, the U.S. is losing money. The economy's down. It's going in the tank. With that being said, I want you all to pay attention, because it's going to get worse from here. But hold on. Let's listen to what Chuck Schumer has to say. Now, mind you, this is the Democratic Speaker of the House.
The view of Palestinians is simple. Well, the Europeans treated the Jews badly, culminating in the Holocaust, and they gave them our land as compensation. Of course, we say it's our land. The Torah says it, but they don't believe in the Torah. So that's the reason there is not peace. They invent other reasons, but they do not believe in a Jewish state. And that is why we in America must stand strong with Israel through thick and thin. We must, because that is the reason, not any of these other false shibboleths, why there is not peace in the Middle East. Too many people don't understand that here in America.
What we do understand is that Satan Yahoo is a genocidal maniac, period. Okay, he is. Now, with that all being said, I want you all to see this. This woman, this is why people are going to stop coming here to visit, okay, because this woman is a tourist. Okay, she was on vacation in New York with her 12-year-old daughter. This woman is from Chile. Okay, and here's what ICE did. Obviously, because of her looks, because there's nothing else that would warrant that they just grab this woman and accost her. Please pay attention. This is sad and disturbing.
My son, please.
Now, is that ICE or is that the NYPD, or does ICE wear the NYPD uniform as well? And there's her 12-year-old daughter left on the street to fend for herself. Why wouldn't they take the daughter with her? Make that make sense. Absolutely egregious. People are not going to want to come here, and I don't blame them. Meanwhile, back in the PDF files, let's talk about it. So this is John Abenshine, 79 years old, of Lake Forest, Illinois. He previously was the owner of the Winnetka house where they filmed Home Alone. Now, Abenshine was arrested this week, and you can tell by his last name who he is, was arrested this week and charged with numerous felonies after authorities found him in possession of child sexual abuse material of children aged 4 to 15. Okay? There he is. This monkey literally saved somebody's child from a balcony. Let's see this again because I find it all interesting. All right. Now, I don't think that's AI. Could be, but it doesn't really look like it.
A Latina is suing the state of California over a program that was meant for pregnant Black women. Yeah, this program is called Black Infant Health Program and is funded by the state of California to support Black mothers during and after pregnancy. It offers things like prenatal care support, mental health services, and community-based guidance. The reason this program even exists is because Black women have a much higher maternal mortality rates in the US, about 2 to 3 times higher than any other group. And this is not tied to income. This is linked to things like systemic racism, chronic stress, unequal healthcare access, and bias in medical treatment. A Hispanic woman named Erica Jimenez, this is the person who's suing this program, and this is the reason why. Applied for the program, but she was denied not because of income or need, because she's not Black. Yeah, that's what she said, because she's not Black. Now she's suing the state, arguing that this is racial discrimination. She says she qualified in every other way and is asking the court to open the program to all races. Plus, she's seeking financial damages and legal fees.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Financial damages and legal fees. Find it all interesting. Okay. Find this all interesting. Now, it's specifically for Black women. You mean to tell me they don't have programs specifically for them? Well, of course they do. Now, she says she was denied benefits for moms. When a non-Black California woman was looking for help with her first pregnancy, she claimed the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health denied her, not because of her income, not because of her race. Now she's suing, claiming a program designed to fit systemic exclusion on behalf of Black women is allegedly doing the excluding. That's what she says. The state of California offers programs to support pregnant women and new mothers, offering services, programs, and resources at the state, county, and local levels. Now, that help includes the state's Black Infant Health Program, established in 1989, and the recipients of $5.5 million in federal funds. It was created in recognition that anti-Black racism, social and economic stressors, and neighborhood conditions contribute to poor birth outcomes for Black mothers. And this is according to the California Department of Public Health's website. Now, this program offers prenatal and postpartum group sessions, engaging activities and assistance with applying for health insurance within a culturally affirming and supportive environment that honors the unique history of Black women. The program is only open to all Black women who are 16 years or older, pregnant, or up to 6 months postpartum at the time of enrollment, regardless of income. But according to Erica Jimenez's lawsuit, she should qualify for those benefits despite not being Black nor birthing a Black child. Now, in a bombshell lawsuit filed in California's Western Division District Court on April the 2nd, she claimed that she was discriminated against after she was denied entry into the Black Infant Health Program, despite being qualified in every respect except her race. Don't you all just find this so exhausting? She had given birth to her first baby in mid-March when she sought help from the Pasadena BIH program in February. She said a coordinator told her the program was not for her because she was not of government-preferred race. Now, the non-Black mom is suing because she was rejected from a program exclusively created to empower African-American women and their children for their vital care and support. Jimenez's lawsuit names defendants California Department of Public Health and its director, as well as the LA County and Pasadena Public Health Departments and their directors. Okay, she claims that BHI's racial exclusion uses race as a negative and stereotypes individuals and has caused her harm. Now she wants nominal money damages plus attorney's fees. The lawsuit is also asking the court to issue an injunction barring California from excluding anyone from the program based on race. Countless other pregnant and new mothers across California suffer the same exclusion, she says. They qualify in every way except the government's racial criterion. And the government programs sets no income limits, only race decides who gets the help. Well, here's the thing about that. There are a myriad of other programs that she can go to, that she could have gone to. Let me tell you what this is all about. This is not about them denying her help. You see, this is about her trying to make them take away that program from Black women. If I can't have it, then neither can you. That's what that is. She's on some hater type BS because there are a myriad of programs to help women, and they include anybody. WIC, for example, and let's be clear that the WIC program was started by the Black Panther Party. Okay, but anyone is privy to use those services if need be. With that all being said, all she has to do is search for other sources and she will find them, but she doesn't want to. She wants to target this one because, like I said, if I can't have it, then neither can you. And if you all remember, just a few years ago, probably 5 or 6, when I first started this channel, at the end of the day, there were a myriad of Hispanic women also complaining about other things that were for Black people. Okay. And I just find that all interesting because these things, it's always, remember when we were talking about reparations real heavy back in 2020, when we were talking about no reparations, no vote, and all of that movement started? Well, that's when the Hispanics came out, specifically the women like her, and they were saying that we should not get reparations. And if we do, then they too should get reparations. Well, the thing about it is, you came here on your own accord. Our ancestors were brought here in chains and had to work for free, no labor. But even if we look past slavery, because some of the people who despise us love to say that no one alive today was ever a slave, nor are there any slave owners still alive. Well, you know, you could alleviate that from the equation, but still we should be given reparations for Rosewood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Detroit race riots, the Atlanta race riots here in the Sweet Auburn district, the race riots all over this nefarious country is what I'm saying. That's what we are owed it for Jim Crow, for the lynchings, okay, for those wrongly convicted who spent decades in prisons. I mean, there's a myriad of things, for medical experimentation, for the sterilization of healthy Black women's bodies. Did you all know that sterilization was legal in this country for about 30 years and they didn't tell the people that were doing it? In fact, they're still doing it. And the women still don't know unless they find out some sort of way, like the woman that I reported to you on about a week ago when she set up a camera in the doctor's office. And that's how she found out. He lied to her and told her he was going to help her have a child, but instead he gave her a partial hysterectomy to make sure she never had children. These are the things that they do. Okay, so please pay attention. At the end of the day, what happened to the Black and Brown coalition? Okay, I have several questions. Okay, I find it all so interesting, but let's continue. Now let's talk about this Black man who was found. I'm sorry, he wasn't Black, he was Hispanic. But let's talk about this Hispanic man that was found hung. Many people are saying he was Black, but the reports are saying that he was Hispanic. And some of the people there on the scene also said that he was Hispanic, though some were not close enough to see. They literally left him hanging long enough for people to gather. It's absolutely egregious, in my opinion. Absolutely sad. He was 19 years old. Okay. And despite the fact that some Hispanic people do not like Black people like myself, I will still report on the ills that occurred to them. Okay. Because I am a humane person, of which most Black people are. And most Black people, for the record, don't go around hating on other groups of people, trying to disparage them, trying to cause them harm, and trying to make them lose programs that benefit them. Okay, we already know that Black women are the most likely to die during labor and delivery. And if you remember, I showed you all a documentary, like a small documentary, a short documentary, a few years ago, maybe 2 or 3, where this mother died, and it was so unnecessary. Okay, and her husband has been fighting for legislation since, but they literally allowed her to bleed to death, okay, after her delivery. Now the father has 3 children to raise on his own. All right, but this is what they do. With that all being said, here's what the statement says. This is from Metropolitan Police Department, Washington, D.C. This man was found hanging outside of a whole police department in Washington, D.C. How do you hang someone in front of a police department, or they hang themselves, and there's no camera footage in front of a police department? Well, of course there is, but we'll likely never see it. And if you think this man did this to himself, think again, because isn't that always what they say? On Monday, April the 13th of 2026, at approximately 1:30 p.m., 4th District officers responded to the 900 block of Quackenbow Street, northwest for the report of an unconscious person. Upon arrival, officers located a 19-year-old Hispanic male, unconscious and not breathing, hanging from a tree limb. DC Fire and EMS responded to the scene, and despite all life-saving efforts, the male was pronounced dead on the scene. The decedent was transported to the office of the chief medical examiner for an autopsy, and a ruling on cause and manner of his death is pending additional testing and toxicology results. Currently, no foul play is suspected. That's what they always say, but he was hung high in the tree. Now, I'm just wondering, without a ladder or anything, how could he get himself up there? Now, we could say that he climbed the tree, but you climbed the tree with a rope and everything that you needed? I doubt it. Currently, no foul play is suspected, and this is being investigated as a self-deletion. The decedent's family has been contacted by MPD, and our hearts go out to them during this difficult time. Anyone with further information is urged to call, please. Mr. Swithett, no one has any information other than the police. Okay, in my opinion, that's who put him there. Oh, that's just what I think. Now, I can't prove it, but I absolutely believe that it was the police. That's just what I think. Now, with that all being said, let's go to some of the videos that people posted about this. Okay, because why isn't this all over the news? Okay, and also we're going to revisit the story of the black man who was found just months ago hanging from a tree right here in Georgia. Okay. Now, in this clip, you will hear people talking in the background. It's a very brief clip. You'll hear people talking in the background describing what the young man is wearing, because they literally see him still hanging in the tree. I don't know why the police didn't cut him down immediately, okay, but they left him hanging there as they pretended to conduct an investigation, okay, because that's all they did was pretend, okay? They didn't gather any soil, look for DNA or any of that, like I always tell you all, they never do. Okay, please pay attention.
You got on the black hoodie and some black shoes. Come on, man. You got on the black hoodie and some black shoes. Come on, man.
Wearing a black hoodie and black shoes. They could see him as plain as day. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. This is all nefarious. Yeah, that's right, soul sister. In my opinion, they only pretended to investigate.
Hey, how y'all doing? A man was publicly lynched in Washington, D.C., hanging from a tree right outside of a police station. Do you know how hard it is and how long it would take to hang a full-grown man from a tree, and how much effort that takes? He was left there while the police were still investigating. He was just left there. It was like a couple days ago. Dude, okay, here's my thing. A lot of people, I'm not gonna say who, but a lot of people truly do believe that racism and, you know what I'm saying, all the stuff from the 1800s has fully gone away. No. Lynched? Hanging from a tree? Washington, D.C.? Outside of a police station? Dude, the shit that they did in the 1800s, the killing methods, they're still around.
Now, this next clip is a woman who actually visited the site.
On this video, I'm not sure if you have seen the viral video of a 19-year-old boy that was hanging in a tree outside of a police precinct. I am outside of the 4th District headquarters in Northwest DC. This is where the 19-year-old boy was found hanging on the side of the police precinct. We just left an action of community organizers and community members that are looking for answers because we don't have any outside of the fact that this young Latino boy was 19 years old. What the police department is attempting to try to say is that the boy died by suicide. However, the video that went viral of his body hanging outside of a tree on this side of the building is from Monday. The police did not release a statement about this boy hanging outside of this police department until yesterday, Thursday. Today is Friday, April 17th. So just so you all know, no public was alerted. Nobody was notified. We still don't have a name or any identifying information of this young man. An independent journalist by the name of Sam Collins, who writes for the Washington Informer here in DC, came to this precinct to ask the police what happened, who is he, what was going on. Got no answers. Community advocates came to this police precinct to ask questions about what happened, what is going on, who is this young man, and got no answers to no avail. And so for that, we call foul play. I call foul play. And in addition to this young man that was found, this particular precinct also houses who I call Bag of Shit Bagshaw, Jason Bagshaw, who a couple of years ago killed a 23-year-old Black man by the name of Lazarus Wilson. And so therefore, we know that this particular police department is corrupt and we don't trust anything that they have to fucking say. And until they release any further information to the public, that's what we're going to stand.
Absolutely egregious. Okay, prayers for the young man, and prayers and condolences for his family. I hope that they get justice, but as per usual, they likely won't. Michael M says, Queen, my sister is a teacher in DC and they let the students out because of the hanging near the police station, but I cannot find it anywhere. That's because it's not being reported. And that's exactly why, because it's not being reported, beloved. Sad to say, but that's just the facts. They don't care about Black or brown people. And if you ask me, that would be an incentive for Black and brown people to stick together. But sadly, they go against us all the time, every day and twice on Sundays. Not all of them, but most. Now, with that all being said, if you remember Kyle Basinga, okay, I reported on him, found hung in a tree here in Georgia, and they said that he did it himself. But here's the thing. He was into a dispute with a police officer right before that. And that police officer's name is Christian Sirocco. Let's get into it.
Sense to you, bro? Hey, bro. Cuz, bro. Treating me like I'm some crazy ass nigga, bro. A random car drives behind me close like that. What? Bro, look where you are, nigga. I was on the sidewalk right here. You was driving close as fuck to me, bro. Come on, bro.
I'm just gonna tell you again to chill out and stop screaming and don't get in my face, okay? That's the last time you're gonna get in my face.
I'm not even close to you right now, gang. Just give me my shit and I can go about my business. Cause this is low-key illegal what you just did. You just checked me for no reason. What was your reason for getting my ID?
You said you were a student, so I asked your parents.
No. What was your initial reason? Because you see my hoodie. I have a Georgia State hoodie on, bro. Right, and what I asked you? What I'm saying? What was your reason? What was your reasoning?
What did I ask you?
Let me tell you something. The cop is trying to gaslight and deflect. Anytime you're asking someone a reason for something or questioning them about something that they don't want to answer or they can't answer logically, they can't explain it so that it makes sense, they'll start asking you questions. What did I ask you? What did I tell you? Do you know that such and such? Answer the darn question. But that's what he doesn't want to do. Because he had no business stopping him in the first place, quite frankly.
What was your reasoning, dude? You can't just ask anybody you're a Georgia State student. What was your reasoning? Did I commit a crime? That's what I'm saying. Thank you. You seen that? Thank you. You seen that shit, right? Yeah, nigga. I have witnesses right here, bro. That's what I'm saying. I'm paranoid as hell.
It's okay, man, because we got cameras all around here. So you
I
can
don't
see.
know what you done. I just saw you look like you were
He
driving
didn't
close.
do anything.
I didn't do anything. So
Right.
why? So hold on. You don't have no reason to get my ID, right? I'm not doing anything.
Actually, you are a student here. This is what I asked.
With a Georgia State hoodie on?
Right.
So you just go around asking random kids, are you a Georgia State student? Even the kid with a Georgia State hoodie on? Does that make sense to you, bro? All right, bro.
Again, I hope you get the help you need, man.
All right. What's up? I'm calm.
The only reason that cop was talking calmly, even though he was gaslighting and then talking about, I hope you get the help you need, trying to act as though the young man had some sort of mental problem. The only reason he didn't escalate it and put hands on him, shoot him, or do something nefarious is because there were people sitting there watching and people driving by. Okay? I'm pretty sure that he had something to do, if not everything to do, with why that young man ended up hung from a tree. And that's my opinion, and I'm standing on
I
it.
just gotta videotape this bullshit, bro. Like, this is literally a police harassment. How you gonna ask me if I'm a Georgia State student with a Georgia State hoodie on, bro? Georgia State hoodie on, gang. Come on, bro. Use your brain, nigga. Driving close as fuck. Bro, he pulled to the sidewalk, gang. Sidewalk. I was walking. He pulled close behind me. I'm
His
looking
car
paranoid.
is.
He gonna make it seem like
He literally pulled his damn car up on the sidewalk. But they think we don't deserve reparations. Like, miss me with it. We'll never get them, though. That's a sad fact of the matter. Now, that being said, let's continue because the next point of business is let's talk about Stephen Miller. You all know who Stephen Miller is, don't you? Hold on, let me pull up a picture of him for those of you who forgot exactly what he looks like. His wife had the audacity, dare I say, to say that liberal men are unattractive. I want y'all to pay attention. How could she call anyone unattractive when she's married to Stephen Miller? Sorry, she got dragged all over the internet. Okay, she absolutely did, as should. Because what? That's her husband. Ah, that is her husband and Trump's advisor. Let's talk about it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Stephen Miller's wife said liberal men aren't attractive, and the responses are actually making me gasp. They made me gasp too. Let's get into it. I'm just going to share the whole article on the screen for our own entertainment purposes. Okay, and this is him on a good day. Him and her actually look alike, do they not? Look at the noses, the smile. They look like twins, except she looks like she's just him with the wig on. If you ask me, there she is again. Clearly not attractive herself. So she says liberal men aren't attractive. Okay, please pay attention. Now, here are the responses to what she said. Someone said, "This you?" Ha! Someone said, "We can see Stephen with our eyes." Okay. Someone says, "Remember when your husband spray painted his head to go on TV?" Yeah, he totally did. Someone said, "This is who you married." So I find it interesting. Someone says, "Wow, she got roasted in the comments for marrying this guy. Remember when he painted his head?" I'm sorry. His head looks like a light bulb. Someone says, "Have you seen your husband?" I mean, it's the nerve of it all for me. Beyond just flooding her mentions with photos of her husband and comments themselves, the comments themselves were absolutely brutal. Bold thing to say when your husband looks like a big toe. Okay. Katie, they in the quote saying, "Your husband looks like a..." Katie, they in the quote saying, "Your husband looks like an Enos with a P." She must have that rare face blindness thing. Serious thing to say when your husband looks like a cross between a rabies-infected lowly worm and a hard-boiled egg. You're married to Bald Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. Someone says, I have a Halloween skeleton named after your husband because of the uncanny resemblance. These people are going in. Y'all, the only reason I'm not laughing is because I've already laughed hard enough last night till I was in tears. Someone says, having married a literal reject from Salem's Lot with all of the charisma of a brick, that's not really a stone you should throw. You should be throwing, love. And lastly, says the woman who's effing Timo Nosferatu. Okay, please pay attention, honey. That was funny to me. And the one that said, the best one is when they said she married a reject from Salem's Lot. Okay, with all the charisma of a brick. Has anyone seen Salem's Lot ever? Do y'all remember that movie? It's so old. I think it came out in 1978. Hilarious. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely cannot. I mean, what was she even thinking? I mean, maybe to her, he looks good. I don't know. But let's go to this video about APOC Shakur. Because APOC has something to say. Let's get into it. You saw it, Soul Sister. Okay? I used to be so scared of that movie when I was a little girl.
We have the Virginia redistricting referendum on Tuesday. Can you discuss your outlook heading into Tuesday and how you've been involved and will be involved in the final stretch of that campaign?
It's a close race, and we expected that from the very beginning. But there's a lot of momentum behind the effort to ensure that there's a yes vote to stop the MAGA power grab. There were a lot of skeptics and cynics in this town. When Donald Trump first announced this extraordinary mid-decade gerrymandering effort that Democrats were cooked, finished, that Donald Trump was going to rip away 12 to 15 seats from us, and there was nothing that we could do about it. Look at us now, on behalf of the American people. And as we maintained from the very beginning, we were not going to let Donald Trump steal this midterm election. The American people are the only ones who should decide who serves in the majority in the next Congress. Not
Well, I absolutely agree. And we should also decide to get your behind out. Okay, you're taking money from AIPAC and we don't have time for it. Your allegiance should be to the United States. Okay, period. Point blank and serious. Okay? And your interest should be for the United States citizens. That's Nosferatu, in case anyone missed it. The resemblance, in my opinion, is absolutely uncanny. Okay, and he also does look like a Salem's Lot reject as well. But let me continue. Now, with that all being said, here comes Elon Musk. This man is one of the richest, if not the richest man in the world, and he's sitting here crying and whining because he can't get his way. Elon Musk XAI sues Colorado over AI consumer protection law. An artificial intelligence platform that generated messages last year describing itself as Mecha Hitler was highlighting individuals' Jewish surnames, says Colorado, and says Colorado has no legal basis for protections against algorithmic discrimination by AI systems. Elon Musk XAI, which owns the social media platform X and the generative AI chatbot Grok, Grok. For those of you who missed it, it's supposed to be something like Chat GPT. So anyway, sued Colorado in federal court Thursday, alleging that a state consumer protection law passed in 2024, Senate Bill 24-205, violates the company's constitutional rights. SB-205 is scheduled to take effect in June. They said despite being billed as a consumer protection measure, the law lacks any statement of purpose or legislative findings evidencing the algorithmic discrimination that the bill prohibits, argues XAI's lawsuit, which was filed in the U.S. District Court of Colorado. it nevertheless imposes onerous nationwide requirements that impermissibly burden XAI's constitutional rights. So anyway, touted by Democrats in the Colorado General Assembly as a first-in-the-nation comprehensive AI law, SB 205 sets anti-discrimination guardrails for businesses that use the technology in decisions on consequential matters such as loans, employment, insurance policies, and school admissions. Governor Jared Polis signed the bill into law in May of 2024, but issued a signing statement at the time expressing reservations about the law's potential to tamper innovation and deter competition in an open market. All right, so the XAI lawsuit approvingly quotes those comments by Polis and similar concerns expressed by 5 other top Colorado Democrats: U.S. Senator Michael Bennet, Attorney General Phil Weiser, U.S. Reps Joe Neguse and Brittany Pedersen, and Denver Mayor Mike Johnston. Now, who successfully pressured the legislative last year to delay the law's effective date. A working group convened by Polis announced a policy framework last month for potential revisions to the law, but formal legislation has yet to be introduced at the Capitol. Now, Musk, the world's richest person, and a close ally of President Donald Trump, purchased X, formerly Twitter, in 2022 and routinely uses the platform to endorse white nationalist rhetoric, the Great Replacement theory, and other far-right conspiracist claims. He describes Grok, the platform's integrated AI chatbot, as the answer to woke alternatives like OpenAI's ChatGPT. Now, in 2025, shortly after an updated publicized as instructing Grok to not shy away from making claims which are politically incorrect, the platform generated a barrage of anti-Semitic replies to users praising Adolf Hitler, and highlighting surnames of Ashkenazi people, of that origin, nonetheless. The chatbot was soon temporarily taken offline. Musk has repeatedly publicly intervened to adjust the Grok model to satisfy users who want the content it generates to be more right-wing. According to the New York Times, which was reported last year. Now, XAI's lawsuit argues that SB-205 would substitute Colorado's political preferences for the national economic and security imperative of American AI dominance. It seeks an injunction blocking SB-205 before it takes effect in June, on June the 30th. What do you all think? I just wish Elon would just sit down somewhere, enjoy his money, his trillions, and just shut the hell up and leave people alone. Please. He has to whine and cry about everything. Now let's go to this report about RFK Jr. Because once again, he's getting called out on his BS. Trump's health secretary, RFK Jr., gets confronted over suggestion that Black children on ADHD medicine should be reparented. He denies ever saying it. Now, I want you all to pay attention to the lady in the background holding up the sign, because that was absolutely sending me.
2024 podcast interview, you suggested that Black children on ADHD medication should be reparented. You said every Black kid is now just standardly put on Adderall, SSRI, benzos, which are known to induce violence, and that those children are going to have to go somewhere to get reparented. There is a lot to unpack in that comment. I know that you've already answered several of the questions I was going to ask, and so I'm just going to rephrase them. Mr. Secretary, you've already admitted that you are not board certified physician, and you've already admitted that you did not go to medical school. Have you ever reparented, or parented, I should say, a Black child?
I don't even know what that phrase means, and I doubt that.
Yes or no answer.
I doubt that I said that phrase. No,
absolutely.
I'm not going to answer something that I didn't say.
You absolutely said it.
Oh, I'd like to hear the recording.
So to be
Because
clear,
it doesn't make any sense. I don't even know what it means.
I don't either. That's why I'm asking.
And by the way,
so to be clear, you're not a doctor, you have no medical degree, and you have no formal medical training. You have never parented a Black child.
24 of the 26 HHS secretaries have not had medical.
This is my time. And I say to the chairman, I want to reclaim my time. So you are not a doctor, have no formal medical training, and you've never parented a black child, and yet you are suggesting that the federal government should take black children away from their families and reparent them and send them off to some wellness farm instead of providing them with evidence-based.
You're just making stuff up.
I am absolutely not making this up.
Wellness farms, rehabilitation facilities that I'm going to start where people, any American can go for free, any of them who is dependent on drugs, either legal drugs or illegal drugs, psychiatric drugs, which every black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence. And those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented.
In a 2024 podcast.
Just lying to her face. He absolutely said it. And see how he said, oh, you're just making stuff up? You can tell that he's been hanging around Trump. You can absolutely tell he's been hanging around Trump. And let me just say this too. This has nothing to do with that story, but let me just say this before I forget. So last night as I was scrolling upon X, I saw this man who didn't look like me had posted a video of a little black child about the age of 6 or 7 rapping a rap song, and the music playing and all that, and his mother and other people were around, you know, I guess it was a party or something. So anyway, he said, this child is probably going to grow up to be a thug or criminal. I can't remember exactly what he said. And he said something about no father being in their home. So I replied to him. I said, well, you know, at the end of the day, I don't agree with him doing what he's doing, nor the mother condoning it. At the end of the day, he could be doing something more productive and constructive. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he will become a thug, okay? He could grow up and have a different mindset. I said, but here's the thing. What he is very unlikely to become when he reaches adulthood is to become a serial killer, a mass shooter, or a school shooter. He's very unlikely to become any of those things. And you see, the funny thing is, though he may not have a father in the home, the majority of the people who become those 3 things have a mother and a father in the home, and they don't come from poverty. The family usually is well-to-do and lives in the suburbs. So I said all that to say this. This is what I told him. I said all that to say this, that this child may be a product of his environment if he does in fact become a thug, okay? But with the school shooters, the mass shooters, and the serial killers, that's just in their DNA. And you can change your environment so that you don't become a product of a certain type of environment. But what you can never do is change that DNA. Please pay attention, okay? Don't come for us unless we send for you. Now, with that all being said, we absolutely do have some nefarious people amongst us, okay? Poetical Wind said, beautifully said, Goddess. Thank you, beloved. I mean, we have to speak up for our people, because don't try to demonize us when you have demons amongst you too, and whole thugs, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and the argument that they say, and here's the thing, I want you to pay attention, because really, when they're trying to disparage us, what are they really saying when they say this child will become this way because there's no father in the home? So they're saying that when Black fathers are in the home, the children come out much better, and they do. That's a fact. But what it also says to us, when we see these type of thugs who shoot up schools, murder people, and all of this foolishness, when we see them doing these things, but they do have a father in the home, what does that say about their fathers? They're not that good? I mean, what is it saying? Okay, that's what he should have been focused on. Him and Charlie Kirk. Okay, him and Charlie Kirk. May he rest in peace. Now, with that all being said, let's continue. I want you all to see this video of JFK. This is recently resurfaced. Now, the reason I want you to see this is because you remember that John Kiriakou, who's a former CIA agent who now turns whistleblower, said that Trump, now I can't say if this is true or not, it's all alleged, but I'm just telling you what he said as a whistleblower, that Trump would never release the JFK files because he said that BB Satan had him killed. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just telling you what the whistleblower said. That being said, listen to what JFK had to say on this day. And this day was, if I'm not mistaken, in 1961. I think it was sometime in September of 1961.
The Israeli leadership that I do not support their expansionist ideas.
Oh, what happened to him in Dallas again?
The indigenous people of that land have rights that cannot be ignored. We must find a fair solution, not one dictated by any single group.
This ideology, we think it probably costed him his life. It really truly feels like the more I learn about this man, he was truly the last great United States president.
And I'll tell you something else. People have long speculated that the Kennedys had something to do with the death of Marilyn Monroe. And I did a lot of research on that, a lot of research on Marilyn Monroe. If you all want me to do a story on that one of these days, let me know by ones in the chat. Because I'm going to tell you this. I don't think that the Kennedys are the ones that had her killed. I think that she was, however, killed to protect what she knew about the Kennedys. But it was other people on the outside that were dealing with the Kennedys, allegedly, that she had information on too. And those people are the ones who really didn't want her to spill the tea. Okay? It's a really, really sad story at the end of the day. Okay, so we will absolutely do it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Poetical Wind said, yet the chickens still come home to roost. Exactly. Okay? Ha! Oh, yeah. By the way, Claudette said, happy birthday, Mr. President. By the way, when she did that, she was actually trying to reveal, like letting it be known that he was having an affair with her. Okay? And if you remember the look on Jackie O's face, if you've ever seen the clip, at this point, she was ready to tell everything that she knew. And I can only imagine the pillow talk. But like I said, there were some people who didn't want her to say anything because that would have not only affected the Kennedys, but them as well. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let's talk about these tornadoes. Did y'all hear about it? Let me just tell you real quick, this is one of your lifelines. I'm going to give you another. But they say dozens of tornadoes ripped down power lines, roofs in severe storm surge. Now, this was reported this morning at 6:29. And dozens of tornadoes, numerous tornadoes tore through the U.S. Midwest on Friday, damaging homes and infrastructure in several states amid a multi-day severe weather stretch. I'm just wondering, did HAARP have anything to do with this? The National Weather Service had warned Friday that numerous severe thunderstorms will be possible from Oklahoma to Great Lakes area, with hail, strong tornadoes, and severe winds among the hazards. Now, why this matters? You see, since Monday, there have been nearly 4 dozen tornado reports from Texas to the Great Lakes, with more than 350 hail reports, and this is according to CNN, underscoring the scale and persistence of the severe weather pattern. Now, here's what you should know. At least 2 tornadoes reportedly tracked through the greater Rochester, Minnesota area Friday. Widespread damage was reported in Olmsted County, and about 30 homes were damaged in Marion, though no injuries were reported. Around 8 homes saw major damage, and 14 more sustained minor damage in Stewartville. And this is according to the Olmsted County Sheriff's Office, which added that at least 1 home was reportedly damaged in Quincy Township in the country's northeast. Now, they say Marathon County, Wisconsin, reported significant damage after a tornado Friday afternoon, with multiple law enforcement agencies responding. And that's according to a county spokesperson. And there's even more, but let's go to the news report, because I find this very interesting. Whole lot of weird stuff going on these days. Please pay attention.
Multiple tornado warnings and watches up on the map right now as we come on. The threat across several states. The National Weather Service tonight saying this threat level is a 4 out of 5. They say life-threatening storms in the Midwest now moving east. Possible tornadoes, severe thunderstorms, large hail, and flash flooding from Texas right up to Wisconsin. Major cities in the potential path of this: Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City, then barreling east. Potentially the most severe of these storm systems this week. At least 28 confirmed tornadoes in 9 states already. Lee Goldberg has the forecast, and Mola Lenghi is in the storm zone with the images already coming in tonight.
Tonight, violent spring storms firing up across hundreds of miles in multiple states. AccuWeather storm chasers out in force.
We are seeing a tornado at this very moment. There it is.
Chief Meteorologist Randy Brock from our Rochester, Minnesota affiliate, KAAL, tracking multiple twisters.
We have numerous tornadoes right now, at least 2 at the same time.
Multiple homes in the area hit, roofs ripped off, trees shredded, first responders racing to the scene. West of Rockford, Illinois, reports of children trapped at a school in the town of Lena after a reported tornado there. At least 28 confirmed tornadoes already this week across 9 states, along with massive destructive hail and straight-line winds. Days of rain forcing rivers to rise far beyond their banks. These fish spotted swimming in a parking lot west of the city of Green Bay. The rain taking its toll on roads. Workers pulling a car from this massive sinkhole near Grand Rapids. Residents along the Muskegon River in Newaygo County, Michigan, still under evacuation orders and a state of emergency.
Well, those storms producing confirmed tornadoes, not just here in Wisconsin, David, but also in Minnesota, Iowa, and Illinois tonight. And the threat is not over, as we expect to see even more tornadoes and some intense winds, 70 to 80 mile per hour winds through tonight, David.
Yeah, dangerous night ahead. Mola, thank you for leading us off. Let's get right to ABC senior meteorologist Lee Goldberg tracking these storms again tonight. Hi, Lee.
Hi, David. We do have a tornado outbreak on our hands right now. 10 reported tornadoes, and that goes from Kansas all the way to Wisconsin. Nearly a dozen active tornado warnings, one near Kansas City, across Iowa, and then west to Milwaukee. Tornado watches are widespread across 7 states, from Oklahoma to Wisconsin. That includes Kansas City over to Chicago. Chicago sees storms around 10 to 11 o'clock tonight. Then it goes from a tornado threat to a destructive wind threat. That's why we have a rare level 4 out of 5 severe risk. That's from Wichita to Kansas City, gusts up to 90 miles an hour. The severe storm threat will go to the Ohio Valley on Saturday. Cleveland, Pittsburgh under the gun. They could see damaging winds. By Sunday, it's rain in the Northeast and a big cool down here in the 40s in New York by late Sunday. David, through the evening hours, we'll track this severe weather across the Midwest.
Yes, we will track this right into the evening. Everyone, please take these warnings seriously. And Lee, thank you again.
Okay, absolutely nefarious. Find it also interesting. Now let's go to this report where they were talking about Trump's mental health.
The fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. Mr. Secretary, does this raise concerns for you about the president's mental health?
The president is a bargainer, and he knows how to make good deals.
Mr. Secretary, does this raise questions about the president's mental health to you?
Here's what I would say, that for 2 generations, every American president...
Mr. Secretary, you're being non-responsive. I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. I gather the answer. It does not raise concerns for you. President Trump posted this image of himself as Jesus Christ. People across the country and around the world were deeply offended by this blasphemous image. Millions of Americans are questioning this president's mental fitness, his emotional stability, and whether he can carry out the duties of his office. Do you share their concerns about his mental health?
I want to call your attention to the last line of that.
Mr. Secretary, my question was, do you share their concerns about his mental health?
I want to call your attention.
Mr. Secretary, you're not being responsive. Apparently not reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Secretary, reclaiming my time. Mr. Chairman, elect a witness. It's my time, Mr. Secretary. Millions of Americans are now wondering if this president is delusional and thinks he is Jesus Christ. Mr. Secretary, given everything that I've shown you today, will you insist that President Trump undergo an assessment of his mental fitness and his emotional stability?
Absolutely not.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Reclaiming my time absolutely not. I remind you that under the 25th Amendment, you have a duty to remove a president who is physically or mentally unable to discharge his responsibilities under the Constitution. Mr. Secretary, should President Trump fail a mental fitness test or an evaluation about his mental stability?
These people will just not be honest about Trump, okay? They just won't. No matter what. They will gaslight and deflect, but I tell you what, this priest called him out. Father David.
Father David here. Well, every day Donald Trump tells us who he is and who he criticizes. So he criticizes his opponents as having a low IQ, and yet he has threatened his college that he will sue them if they release his college transcripts. Just yesterday, he called Liz Cheney a coward and a warmongerer, and yet he can't remember which of his feet had the fake bone spurs that allowed him to avoid service in Vietnam. All the while, he castigates true heroes like John McCain, and at the same breath threatens to wipe Iran off the face of the earth. This is a man who complains that high energy prices are what is spurring inflation. And yet in April of 2020, he's the one who went to Saudi Arabia and spoke to Putin and insisted that they reduce production because the price of oil was too low for his petroleum company friends. And then the price began to spike. Yes, he tells us who he is every time he opens his mouth. He is a frightened, not terribly bright, befuddled old man. And he is not somebody we can ever allow to take the reins of power in this country. We are better than he calls us to be, and we will be better than he calls us to be. Vote. Vote wisely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want you all to pay attention. That all being said, let's go to the next clip. And this is a coach soliciting a minor. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. This coach solicits this minor. I want you all to pay attention to this because here's the thing. The other coach who's with him seems so unbothered. Seems as though it's more of an inconvenience or a headache that they're even questioning him right before a game. Like, how dare you? So unconcerned about the poor child, okay, that he was trying to hook up with. Okay, please pay attention. This is a sickness, and it's absolutely an epidemic in this country. And there are the usual suspects. Most of them look alike.
Our principal and tell him that we'll go in there and meet tomorrow. Can't do it today, buddy. I've got a track meet, but I can do it tomorrow.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even think I want you around kids right now, dude.
I met a girl on Snapchat. On Tinder, and I talked to her a couple times, and she's 15. And so I've never done nothing with her. And I'd snapped her before. And then apparently her grandmother.
Well, her grandma found her phone. He's been texting a 15-year-old for the past month saying that he can't believe that he wants to fuck sophomore and he wants to lick her pussy and have her head behind her legs. I have the if you want to read them, but it's just very important that, are you the head coach? Right? And y'all have a group of girls.
Boys, what's the deal?
Right.
She's on Tinder. Well, she was on Tinder, and then
What does he mean, what's the deal? I'm sorry, sir. Haven't you heard enough?
met her on Tinder. Then I knew later how old she was, and I've just kind of separated myself. I've talked to her some, and then she snaps me all the time, but there's never no pictures seen or nothing like that. There's nothing ever happened.
You're a smoke show. Hopefully give you the best fuck of your life. Better question, what you gonna do to me? He said, I'll let you sit on it. You said you were over 7 inches, your penis, right? You said really.
Okay, I think we've heard enough. He's absolutely disgusting. But here's the thing. Now, the reason that this is such a problem, an epidemic in this country, in my opinion, is because did you all know that they actually used to allow grown men to marry children in this country? I bet you all didn't know that. Yeah, they used to. They absolutely used to. Let me pull up the video. Now, when I saw this video, I looked it up, and it's absolutely true. This happened in 1937. A 22-year-old tobacco farmer by the name of Charlie Johns married 9-year-old Eunice Winstead in Hancock County, Tennessee, and the marriage was legal because at the time, Tennessee had no minimum age requirements. All nefarious. Well, let's go to the story. Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin. Exactly. Elvis married Priscilla Presley when she was how old? Wasn't she 14?
Marriage used to be legal in America. And the story of this marriage is one of the most disturbing things I've ever read about. This is 9-year-old Eunice Winstead, and this is her legal husband at the time, Charlie Johns. So on January 19th, 1937, Eunice, who was 9 years old at the time, left her mother's house. On that morning, she told her parents that she was going out to buy herself a new doll. But instead, the 9-year-old was headed to the courthouse to meet her 22-year-old future husband, Charlie Johns. So at the time of this affair, there was no age limit on marriage in Tennessee. I mean, technically, someone could have married an adult and a baby if they paid off the minister and got everything to go through properly. And so on that day, 22-year-old Charlie offered a local Baptist preacher named Walter $1, which equates to around $21 today. And the preacher accepted the offer, came into the church, and married the 9-year-old to the 22-year-old. I mean, obviously, words cannot possibly describe how disturbing images like these are. Now, at first, both Charlie and Eunice's parents disapproved of the marriage, but after some thought, they eventually approved the marriage, and they just allowed them to live together and be married. Now, sadly, Eunice dropped out of school at the age of 9 after her husband, Charlie, pulled her out, and she began giving birth to their children at age 15. They'd eventually have 8 children together. I just cannot believe that shit like this used to happen in America. Comment your thoughts on this below.
Absolutely nefarious. Okay, absolutely nefarious. Now, with that all being said, let's go to Caitlyn Jenner, because Caitlyn Jenner feels like they've been done wrong. I don't know Caitlyn's pronouns, so I'll just say Caitlyn feels like Caitlyn's been done wrong. How about that? Okay, so let's get into it.
I had my passport. I had to get it renewed. I sent it back. Comes back gender marker M. Screws everything up. So there's a form in there. If they made a mistake, you can correct it. So I fill out all the proper forms. I'm not calling anybody. I'm not calling the president. You know, I got his personal cell number. I'm not calling anybody. I'm going to see if I can fix this myself, because it's not just about me. It's about all people in this situation, you know? So I even sent a hard copy of my birth certificate, Caitlyn Marie Jenner, gender, sex, female. I did everything. And they sent it back M. They didn't change it at all. So now I'm in a position, Tommy, that what do I do?
Right.
This is a safety factor, okay? I can't travel internationally anymore, okay? I can't use my passport. I can use global entry. It says F. I can do this. I can travel in the United States, license, you know, driver's license, pilot's license, everything, gender marker F. So it really creates a big problem. And I'm trying to figure out at this point what to do. I don't blame President Trump. I love him. But for a lot of people, this is a huge issue, you know? And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. I have not talked to the president. I was in Mar-a-Lago 2 months ago, wrote a letter explaining all of this to him, how it's affecting me and a lot of other people. And unfortunately, he wasn't there that weekend. Actually, the Secret Service guy said he could get it to him, put it on his desk and stuff. I haven't heard from him.
He's kind of busy right now. Recently, I had my
If you ask me, Caitlyn brought this on Caitlyn's self. Now, with that all been said, Christian singer Philip Vaught charged in Tennessee with child sex abuse. This is a Christian singer, mind you. Let's get into it. I find it all nefarious.
We are learning new troubling details tonight about a Hendersonville musician charged with horrific crimes.
We found out today that Phil Vaught faces 160 counts of different child sex crimes.
Our Steve Mailing reports that police are looking for more victims potentially.
Hendersonville police say that Phil Vaught was arrested over the weekend in Mississippi following a lengthy investigation by detectives. He now faces multiple charges, all related to child sex abuse. The 160-count indictment handed down by the Sumner County Grand Jury accuses musician Phil Vaught of 4 different crimes: sexual battery by an authority figure, statutory rape by an authority figure, continuous sexual abuse of a child, and sexual exploitation of a minor. The musician was arrested in Mississippi. The crimes outlined in the indictment say it happened from 2015 to 2017, which for minor victims, Kim Gurman with the Sexual Assault Center in Nashville says is not uncommon.
They don't know that anybody will believe them. The shame around feeling shame or embarrassment about what happened, that fear of shame and blame will keep them from talking.
Vaught comes from Kentucky, the son of a minister who moved to Tennessee when his music career started to take off. He's now faced with a $1.5 million bond, which, if convicted, could carry a lengthy sentence. Gurman says the importance in these cases is education and letting kids know where they can report a suspected crime, and the need for everyone to play a part in keeping kids safe.
To tell anyone, because state law says that we're all mandated reporters. We have the responsibility to be the voice for them and to advocate for them when they can't.
For WSMV4, I'm Steve Mailing.
All right, so if you've experienced sexual assault or abuse, the Sexual Assault Center in Nashville offers free counseling, advocacy services, and free forensic exams at their SAFE clinic. You can also visit the Family Safe Center or call the National Sexual Hotline.
Absolutely nefarious. Okay, the number was on the screen. So with that all been said, this is a gospel singer or a Christian singer, whatever have you. Now, but listen to this. I found this interesting in case you all didn't hear about this. What was this man up to? Because I have several questions.
Who he is? Why are you taking pictures of them with them? No, why? Yeah, I'm gonna watch you go home. You go home. No, not you. You stay here.
Okay, so this lady saw this man with these little girls taking their pictures, and she asked the little girl, "Do you know him?" And the little girl shook her head no. So she asked him, "Why are you taking pictures of them? Why was he? What was he up to?" Okay, please pay attention. Let me roll it back.
Do you know who he is? Why are you taking pictures of them with them? No, why? Yeah, I'm gonna watch you go home. You go home. No, not you. You stay here. Yeah, run. Hey, walk with them. Prince. Walk with them. Walk them home. You're not Prince. You look like Prince. But you, I know you. Walk with them. I don't know who this guy is, but he's taking pictures of them little girls. Go. Take them home. Them right there. Take them home. Make sure they make it home. Janiyah, I forget her name. Yeah, Janiyah.
I need everybody to watch this video in Georgia. If you're from the Georgia area, I don't know what town this is, but this man pulled over, got out of his vehicle, and started taking pictures of these little black girls, okay? And this stranger had to roll up and ask if he knew these girls. Parents, you need to talk to your kids. This is unacceptable. Your kids should not be talking to strangers, letting them take pictures of them when they're outside. This is totally unacceptable. He was planning something. Don't tell me that he wasn't. I don't care if I'm assuming something, but this looked really suspicious. This looks so suspicious. And the fact that he told the car, come around, the car was parked down the street watching already. Okay? And there's two men in the car. You can see another man in the front seat. Here's the license plate of the guy. Here's his face. And do what you got to do, Georgia. I know that TikTok detectives are better than the FBI, but this case right now has to be solved immediately because something's going on here. Somebody needs to get that man's phone, and we need to see more. We need to know more. We need to know who he is, why he's in the area, why he's taking pictures of this girl, and he needs to be stopped immediately. Thank God that this woman pulled over. If you see something, say something. I don't want this lady to endanger her life, but I'm so glad that she pulled over and she said something and we got his picture and we got the plate. TikTok, do the rest. Ya tú sabes.
Yeah, I want you all to pay attention. People should protect all children, no matter their race, okay? If I see somebody doing something to anybody's child, I don't care what race they are, I'm going to say something, and we all should. Now, what in the hell was he up to besides trafficking, probably, okay? Likely, in my opinion. I can't prove it, okay? Now, let's go to this next clip. This poor mother was crying because she had to put her child on the school bus.
I worry, real life concern, because she had to put her son on. Mom was distraught, okay? I'm talking real life tears, real life worry, real life concern, because she had to put her son on the school bus. Keep watching so y'all can see how it turned out.
Tootie, gotta put that boy on the bus, Tootie. Tootie, he got friends out here, Tootie.
Yeah, I got friends.
Go ahead.
It's okay.
Yo, Mika, that's so sweet of you. Come on. Mika, watch him, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Mika gonna watch him.
I watch me and my friends.
Okay, y'all watch him. Oh, that is so sweet.
We'll watch him.
They gonna watch him for you. Oh, that is so sweet. Y'all is so sweet. That is so
El
sweet.
que lo toque lo agarro. Yo también.
Oh, that is awesome. That is sweet. Y'all need to get y'all some neighbors, kids like this. Oh, that is so sweet. I want to cry myself. I really want to cry myself. Thank y'all so much.
Yes, y'all take care of him. Y'all take care of each other, okay?
Oh, that was so sweet. Oh, I'm not tearing up myself. Oh, that was so sweet. Y'all better get ready to get on the bus.
Yeah, that was so sweet of them. Okay, so now with that all been said, and that's further proof that you know that hate is taught. Okay, hatred is taught. Children don't inherently just hate people of different races. That stuff is taught to them. If you teach your children to be loving and affectionate and to have, care about other people, that's what they will do. If you teach them to be hateful and bully people and think that they're better than others, well, that's what they'll do. Okay, please. That's when you definitely need to blame the parents. Children don't come up with this stuff on their own. Now, with that all being said, and I'll tell you something, this is absolutely true because when I was a child, my stepfather never trusted people who don't look like me. And so I came home from school one day, and I probably told you all this before, and I was talking about my best friend wanted me to spend the night at her house. And he said, "What's her name?" And I said, "Her name is Tanya Reed." And he said, "How does she spell it?" And I said, R-E-E-D. And he said, "Is she black or white?" And I said, "She's white." And the reason he asked is because usually when a black person's last name is Reed, it's spelled R-E-I-D, like Joy Reid. But anywho, of course, I didn't know that as a kid. But nonetheless, he told me, "That's not your best friend." And I said, "Yes, she is." And he said, "No, she isn't." And I said, "Yes, she is my best friend." And he said, "Listen," he said, "you can never trust those people, no matter how nice they are. As soon as they get mad, they're going to call you the N-word." And he said, "You can't trust them any further than you can spit." He said, "Didn't you see what happened to Kizzy on Roots? We just watched the other night." And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Well, that's exactly how they'll do you. Please pay attention, honey. I believe that for the rest of my life." Okay? I believed it for the rest of my life. I want you all to pay attention. But now I will say that I do have a very good friend that is not of my skin tone, and I absolutely trust her. Okay? I absolutely do and always will. All right? So please pay attention. But I'm just saying you can't trust everybody, and that's just facts. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this footage because I find it all interesting. Please tell me what you all see. I hope you all you just said praise him. I believe the same thing. So sister said your stepfather told you the truth. Stand on it. He absolutely did. Okay, he absolutely did. But you know what? My friend Carla, that's her name, Carla Kelly. Shout out to Carla if you're listening. But when they said that I needed a kidney transplant, Carla offered me her kidney. Okay? Luckily, she didn't have to give it to me, but I'm just saying, she offered me a kidney before anybody did. Okay, I got black friends too, so all I'm saying. Okay, please pay attention. And when she picked me up from the hospital, she wouldn't even let me pay for my prescriptions. She paid for them, okay, and refused to let me pay her back. So I'm just saying. Now, I do agree with what my stepfather said, but every now and then you might find one. That's all I'm saying, and I luckily did. So that all been said, thank you, Terry. Sosa said Carla is just one of the good ones. Absolutely. You know, we must remember that during the civil rights, the fight for civil rights and all of that, you know, there were a handful of white people that absolutely died, okay, fighting for our civil rights. Viola Luisa is one of them. I always tell you all about her, okay? This is a 44-year-old white woman who was shot in the face by the Klan because she was taking black people to vote. Okay, so there's some good white people. There are some white people you absolutely can trust. And in fact, there are some that you can trust better than some black people, specifically black people that are raccoons. Okay? Because I would trust Carla definitely before I would trust someone like Stephen A. Smith, Jason Shitlock, okay, and the like. But let's continue. Now, that being said, I want you all to pay attention. I want to... Michael said, Queen, I have a spare kidney if you need it, LOL. Thank you, beloved, but I don't. I appreciate you, however. Okay? Okay, Sosa said, speak on it, Queen. Okay? Nessa G said, I have a friend like that as well. All right. Melanie C said, Queen be like, I have a white friend, so... No, I do believe what my stepfather said, absolutely. But I just know that there are always a few. I mean, you can find a handful. Now, with that all being said, Melly C, did I say anything about your super chat? I don't remember, beloved. I don't remember. If I didn't, I apologize. And I want to thank you for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so now with that all being said, let's go to this story right here. This video, I want you all to see. I hope you all can see it. You all may not be able to see it well. I probably should have just uploaded it rather than showing it from TikTok. But can you all see this? You're not going to be able to see it. So let me just tell you what it is. Okay, maybe it'll come closer into view. If you can't see it, I'll tell you after the fact. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank God, because I can't be the only one that's seen what they was trying to get you to see. You know damn well they wasn't trying to get you to read Hugger. You know damn well what y'all look here. All I'm gonna say is, whoever made this, you need your ass beat. And if you put this on your baby, I'm not saying I'm gonna do it, but there's somebody crazy enough to kick your baby. So if you got this on your child, I'm calling CPS because you putting them at danger. You'd be better off putting them in the Klan hoodie, I promise you, because at least then you can hide behind what I was dressing them up as a ghost. What you talking about with your dumb ass?
So it looks like it says Nigger, best jigger, but it actually says mommy's best hugger. Now, you know they had to do that on purpose. They had to do that on purpose, okay? Now let's go to your lifelines, and then I'm out of here. Let's go to your lifelines. Please pay attention. This is very important, people.
These clothes again. Shein. Shein is being sued for selling toxic children's clothing. Independent lab testing showed that more than 1/3 of their tested products came back with chemical levels above limits. Phthalates found it 100 times over the limit. Forever Chemicals found it more than 3,000 times over the limit. Lead found it almost 3 times over the limit. Formaldehyde found in children's dresses at 3.5 times the legal limit. And the scary part is these products were lab tested in 2022. But when the same results were found, all Shein did was release near identical products with different IDs. You deserve to know what's inside your clothes, as well as not be harmed by your clothes. Use the Neutron app to double check what the healthiest alternatives to all types of clothes are.
Okay, that's your lifeline, honey. If you're buying from Shein, you need to stop immediately. Okay, I find it all interesting. Now, and I don't think it's just the children's clothes. I would say that's probably all of their clothing. I actually never heard of this company until I saw that report. But yes, it says Shein is currently facing legal action and intense scrutiny over allegations that its clothing contains dangerous levels of toxic chemicals. In February of 2026, the Texas Attorney General filed a lawsuit against Shein, alleging the company sells products with high levels of hazardous chemicals, including lead and formaldehyde, while misleading consumers about the safety. Isn't that something? Now they say, in some cases, children's items that exceed safety hazards, such as garments with high levels of lead. Okay, do you all know what lead does to people? I'm sure you've heard about it, because Flint, Michigan had lead in their water, and I believe they still do. Hold on, did they ever do anything about Flint, Michigan? Hold on, beloveds. Now, I find that interesting because I hadn't even typed it in. I just said, did they ever fix? And then Google said the problem in Flint, Michigan. How did they know where I was going with that? Interesting. Anyway, it says, yes, the Flint water system has met state and federal safety standards for lead for over several consecutive years, with over 91% of the lead service lines replaced. While official testing shows water quality is safe, many residents still rely on bottled water, as they should, okay, due to a deep-seated distrust and the potential for remaining unidentified lead pipes. Okay, so anyway, with that all been said, beloveds, let's listen to this poem and then we're out of here. Let's listen to this poem and then we're out of here. This is one of the best poems you're going to hear today. One of the best poems you're going to hear, periods. Okay, as far as I'm concerned. Let me put my overlay on here.
The other day, I just wrote a poem the other day entitled Truth. It says, the face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. I just wrote a poem the other day entitled.
Okay, honey, I will always love Muhammad Ali. All right. I know I told you all that I met Muhammad Ali when I was 8 years old. Okay. I had the same piano teacher as him, a woman by the name of Miss Carter, and he brought her tickets on her birthday, her 74th birthday, mind you. He bought her tickets to London. So I always remember that. He patted me on my head. Anyway, with that all being said, listen, I said that I was done, but I just saw something else pop up on X. So I'm going to go to that. Okay, I'm trying to scroll through the comments real quick. I'm going to go to that in just a second because it's about Trump. But before I do, someone put in the chat, and I don't remember who it was specifically, but someone put in the chat that Kamala said she's running in 2028. Well, I didn't know that she had confirmed it, but I do know that days ago when she was asked about it, she said that she just might. So here's something that I think you should want to know. Let me share my screen. The USA is trapped between enemies, Democrats and Republicans. They both work hard, not to their voters, but for Satan Yahoo, basically. Okay, we already know about Lindsey Graham. Look at the money. Okay? Look at the amount of money. We know about Hakeem Jeffries, but also there's little Miss Kamala. All right, there's little Miss Kamala. She's getting money from APAC too, allegedly. All right, so just keep that in mind. And as I told you all before, I told you all that if she had gotten into office, I'm not too sure we wouldn't still be having this war, okay, at the behest of Satan Yahoo, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, her husband is Satan Yahoo's people. All right? Now, with that all being said, oh, I didn't mean to take that off. Hold on, let me go back. What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Let me go back because the clip that I want to show you is also on X. Hold on. And then we're out of here after this clip, okay? Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let me put the overlay back on here. This is Professor Morandi. Now here's what he has to say about Trump.
I think that there's a significant chance that Trump is, of course, making up all this stuff, which he is, that Iran agreed to this, Iran agreed to that, which is all nonsense. So that perhaps that when in 3 or 4 days, he can say Iran promised all these things, but now they've refused to abide by their commitments, non-existent commitments. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. He's saying that the Iranians have agreed to A, B, C, D, E, and F. And then in 2 or 3 days, he said they promised all these things, which they didn't, but they're not doing them. So what happens next? A military assault. I think that the chances for a renewed U.S. war against Iran are actually quite high. And I think that the language used by Trump, and I may be completely wrong, because Trump says lots of nonsense. And he's constantly contradicting himself. He's constantly making things up. He says something 1 hour and then something completely different the next hour. And I've said repeatedly to people, I do try never to interpret Trump because I can't. I just don't know what goes on in his head.
Probably pretty smart.
But if one was to conclude that there is something behind these texts, it could just be another string of like crazy texts, crazy tweets, or truth social posts. But if it isn't, if they are, let's say for once we take him, say that he has some real strategy lying behind this, I would say that he's trying to make it seem like Iran agreed to something so that later on he can say that Iran refrained from carrying out what it promised to do, thus justifying another war.
Y'all heard it. Justifying another war. Hold on. I'm trying to go to this super chat. Okay, now, with that all being said, listen. I absolutely agree with him. Okay, as far as Trump is concerned. You cannot put anything past him. Okay, we all know who he really works for. D Major Scaling says we need a 24-hour marathon one of these days, Queen. Who? Ha! Who's going live for 24 hours, honey? I absolutely cannot. Okay, absolutely cannot. It's all I can do to give these videos that I do now. Now, what I will do is put up a marathon of, older videos that you all may want to rewatch or something of that nature. But clearly, I cannot be on here 24 hours, beloved. But thank you for the thought and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, here's the thing. Before we roll out, I just want to let you all know, in case you missed it, that Iran, in fact, used to be the biggest ally of the United States. It's funny how things change, right? Let's watch this before we go.
They were our #1 ally in the Middle East. People don't know that. Right now, we say Israel is our only ally in the Middle East. We had the largest embassy ever in Tehran. We ran the CIA headquarters out of Tehran. CIA headquarters for all of the Middle East and Asia was all based out of Iran. That's how close we were with them. Now, what happened? They had a prime minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. In 1952, Mossadegh nationalized their oil and said all of this oil belongs to Iran. Great Britain had been mining and pumping most of their oil. The United States, CIA, and MI6 did a joint venture called Operation Ajax. We got rid of Mossadegh and we took him out of power. In his place was Mohammed Shah Pahlavi. Pahlavi, thanking the U.S. for getting him back into power, signed over 40% of the oil fields to the U.S. and Great Britain. 40%. 40%. Wow. Think about if somebody signed over 40% of American farmland to another country. Americans would be pissed. It was Iran.
Now, mind you, I told you all this already, how they overthrew, Misconduct, or however you say his name, Mossadegh, and put the Shah of Iran in there. And then that's what led to the revolution in 1979, when they took the hostages, 63 hostages. The students at a university went to the UN, the U.S. Embassy, and they took those hostages. So they let the black people go, mind you, and the women. But that's why that all happened, because the United States had taken the Shah. They'd helped him to flee. He was sick and he was dying. I think he had cancer, if I'm not mistaken, but nonetheless, he called the U.S. You all saw the video. I showed it to you last week. But I showed you the young man's video because I like the way he spoke about it. But I had already told you all this. That's why all this stuff is going on. This is why they do not like Iran, only because Iran is not letting them get over on them, because you're not getting 40% of their oil anymore and making a profit, the UK and the United States. It's always about money. These wars are always about money, no matter what they say. It's about money and land grabs. That's just it. All right? Please pay attention. So with that all been said, listen, I'm out of here. I will see you all tomorrow for your Sunday vitamins. We'll say your Sunday morning wake-up call because I want to get on early. Anyway, until then, enjoy the rest of your day. And listen, how come nobody corrected me yesterday? How come nobody corrected me yesterday? I literally watched the end of my video and I heard myself say, enjoy your weekend, not your strong end, leaving you in a weakened state of mind. I literally said it backwards, and no one, not even Desmond, bothered to correct a queen. Are y'all serious? If y'all don't start correcting me when I misspeak, it's going to be a problem. Don't have me sitting up here looking crazy, honey. I'm not like some of these narcissistic YouTubers that you cannot correct. Now, y'all know darn well that sounded crazy as hell. Please pay attention. So Just Joy said, Queen, I look forward to your news updates. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Well, the same to you, beloved. I appreciate you for tuning in. In fact, I appreciate all of you, and I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives and enjoy your strong end, not your weak end, leaving you in a weakened state of mind. And until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing them for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got